Parents of Reddit, what was your "oh god I've raised a monster" moment? Had a neighborhood kid babysitting for my little ones after school. She had some other kids over who got into the liquor cabinet. We told her divorced mom, who very indignantly told us we were lying. About a month later, her dad comes to the house with a bottle of Kurswasser, alcohol used for cooking fondue, a couple cheap gold necklaces from my wife, a spare key to our house, and an old checkbook from a closed bank account. He apologized profusely, and I remember him saying, "I never thought my kid would be the bad kid in the neighborhood." It was painful to see. When I watched my younger son walk out on the porch, pick up a plastic wiffle bat, look at it, look at his older brother sitting on the porch steps, look back at the bat, and then haul back and crack his brother's head like Babe Ruth popping one out of the park. I could watch his thought process in 5 seconds time: bat, brother, bat, hit. No hesitation. When my sons were 12 and 13, the older one stole $600 from my wife and I. He gave the younger one half. When they were caught and everything was said and done, the younger son told us that we didn't have the right to take his money from him because he didn't steal it. That was when I knew. Now, ages 19 and 20, the older son has long grown out of it. The younger one has never stopped stealing and lying. Before moving out, he told me that he has always resented me for locking things up and, I'm quoting him here, "not letting me take whatever I want from you." It amazes me because we raised all 4 of our kids the same way, and the other 2 have always been good kids and kind-hearted. Oh well. My 6-year-old has always had weird interests. She asked me to show her pictures of what's in our bodies. I showed her diagrams on Google, and she said, "No, I mean inside of a real body. Like a dead person." Flushed face. I showed her some random picture of an arm surgery and she was begging for more. Also, she always asks me to stop so she can look at dead animals on the road. When my childhood dog died, she tried to sneak and look inside the bag while I was bawling. We're really pushing for the medical field and not a serial killer field. Today, my 3-year-old dipped her cantaloupe in ketchup and ate a whole plate of it. Edit: dang guys, thanks for the coinage. Also, since it's raised some concern, I'm a pediatric pharmacist. All legit drug giving, I promise. When I was a teenager, my friend's little brother had a ton of psychotic tendencies. A couple of examples I remember is him putting their dog in a cooler and suffocating it because it was being annoying. Also, he once ran into my friend's room, handed me a knife, went to the kitchen and sliced his own arm, and proceeded to tell his parents that I cut him. What is even weirder is that even when they saw me holding a knife, they didn't believe him for a second. Well, about 3 years ago he shot his dad, so I'd say he was slash as a monster. Edit: I guess it's psychopathic and not psychotic. My bad. My mom found out her lack of parenting with my brother went wrong when he tried to choke me out for accidentally kicking him. I don't even remember being choked, but apparently it was so bad he had to go to anger management and therapy for 3 years. Years ago, my wife and I had a very heated argument. Our daughter overhears us and comes into the room just as things hit their peak. My wife rushes into the bathroom crying. I'm left sitting on the bed feeling low, listening to my wife sob on the other side of the door. Our daughter looks up at me with a smile and says, "Mommy's crying," and proceeds to laugh loud enough for Mom to hear. And with that, I was in trouble for something entirely new. When our 13-year-old decided to steal $200 that was hidden in my desk 1 week before Christmas, he then spent it all in 1 day on candy, and yelled at us for confiscating what was left of it. He also told us it was our fault for leaving money in the house. To confirm that he is a horrible person, he told his mom that he doesn't like seeing anyone else happy, which is why he broke his 1-year-old brother's things. My 11-year-old son recently called 911 and said I slapped him. CPS came. It was a cluster. It was so well orchestrated, he even took a picture of himself with a red mark on his face. I didn't slap him and it eventually got debunked, although he still won't admit it. A couple months later, he told his dad I forced him to make the old dirty 2-finger licking gesture, take a pic and send it to him. He lives with his dad now, and isn't allowed here until I can afford a camera system. Still unclear on a motive. Okay, this is not my kid. But my mom found out she was raising an asshole when we were out baby clothes shopping with my pregnant aunt, whose first baby had died a few days after birth a year or 2 earlier, and my brother says, "What are you buying it clothes for when you don't even know it's going to live?" When my son blithely told me he wants to play the documentary Under the Curve for his classmates because he is trying to convince them the world is flat. He admits he knows it is not, but he is trying, actively, to con them into thinking it is. My kid was 12 at the time. We were driving their friend home after a sleepover. They were taking turns roasting each other in the back seat. Then my kid says, your parents probably knew you would stutter, that's why they named you Aaron. Yes, he did have a stuttering problem. Oh man, too many to list. The most recent is when my son shot me with his Nerf gun directly in my eyeball. My eye still hurts a week later. A couple of weeks ago, my other son pooped on the floor, he's 3, and put a donut on top of it to hide it. Shopping in Publix and my 4-year-old looks at an employee and calmly says, your lips are ugly. Getting a vasectomy ASAP, thanks for the horror stories.